Hey, Utah Mammoth fans, Tusks up, and welcome into your Utah Mammoth Daily update. So let's kick things off with Mammoth Week. It's been Mammoth Week across Utah since Sunday, I guess, right? Because that's the beginning of the week. So the team just wrapped it up. Well, not just, but they're wrapping it up today on Friday. Statewide tour, hitting cities from Logan to St. George, so that's top of the state down to the very bottom. And the turnout was incredible. Free street hockey clinics, on ice sessions, special themes like girls hockey, goalie clinics, and even up in Park City there was sled hockey. That stop alone had nearly 500 people RSVP. And the best part, kids didn't need skates to play. Sneakers, sticks, and jerseys were provided, making it as inclusive as possible. So that's fantastic. Kristen Bonus, who runs the youth programming for the Mammoth, summed it up perfectly. She said, everyone deserves a chance to try. That's exactly what this was all about. Whether it was radar gun slap shots, or dodgeball on the side with your favorite Mammoth player, or sled hockey for athletes with disabilities, Mammoth Week proved the team isn't just talking about accessibility, they're living it. This is how you grow the game. You bring it to the people, and you make sure everybody feels welcome. And that's exactly what the Mammoth did. It was all across their social media. I encourage you to follow their social media. It's one of the best in the NHL. And I'm encouraged by just how aggressively Ryan Smith and his team are attacking building the community. I think that is something that will definitely serve the Mammoth as well as hockey in general well as we move into the future. Speaking of the future, what's going on in Minnesota? Kirill Kaprizov has rejected, reportedly, the richest contract in NHL history. It was a $16 million annual average value contract. That's insane, because this impacts everything league-wide. Kirill Kaprizov is a very, very good hockey player. He's almost elite tier. So if he rejects that $16 million and if he can hit the open market and get more with the increased salary cap, what does that mean for Connor McDavid? Like, that's insane. So let's kind of talk about this a little bit. Minnesota put it on the table for 8 years. I think that might be why Kaprizov said no. It's too long of a contract for him. I don't know. I have no insight to this, but that's just my feeling on it. So that's 8-year, $128 million extension, and Kaprizov said no. Wow. That lit up the rumor mill. I mean, it was going nuts. Alerts pinging every which way. You know, what does this mean? Is he going to force a trade? Is Minnesota going to have to get rid of him so they can at least recoup something from this? So reports started flying that the Wild had asked him for a trade list, basically preferred destinations if things fell apart. But the team shut that down pretty fast. General manager for the Wild, Bill Guerin, flat out denied it, saying Minnesota hasn't asked for a list and won't. He also made it very clear how much they value Kaprizov, both as a player and as a person. Still, here's the reality. Kaprizov is entering the final year of his contract and will be an unrestricted free agent next summer. Minnesota can't afford to lose him for nothing. So now the questions are, does he eventually sign a different kind of mega deal? Does he push for a shorter contract with more flexibility? Or does a trade quietly start to become an option? Whatever happens, this story isn't going to go away until pen hits paper, and every front office in the league is watching closely, especially the Utah Mammoth, because if Bill Armstrong can pry Kirill Kaprizov from the Wild, that is a huge tectonic shift within the division and could leapfrog Utah up pretty darn high in the division. I'm not going to put them up there with Dallas and Colorado, but it would definitely put them above the Wild. So that is crazy. Going back to here in Utah, youth hockey and development is on the rise. This summer, it gave local kids something special. Prospects scrimmaged at the Olympic Oval over in Kearns, and families packed the building. What stood out was the impact on the kids. The players made a ton of time. The Mammoth made a ton of time to just talk to the kids, even play with the kids a little bit on the ice. So parents said how inspiring it was for their children to see prospects up close. That's something we have never had here in Utah, really, except for in 2002. Especially for kids who have battled injuries or setbacks. I mean, you have guys like Tiji Ginla, who is coming back from 2 hip surgeries, and he was willing to talk to kids that are battling injuries as well. Imagine being 10 years old, already playing hockey, and suddenly you're watching guys who could be skating in a Mammoth jersey next year. That's real motivation. Development camp wasn't just about evaluating prospects, it was about showing Utah families that the pipeline is alive and the dream of going from local rinks to the NHL is more possible now than ever. And we won't have just 2 guys from the state of Utah like I talked about last week in the NHL. We're going to have more than just those 2. And lastly, something really awesome that the Mammoth announced here recently. It's called the Assists for Hope campaign. So let's wrap this up with community impact. The Mammoth are turning their assists on the ice into real assists off it with the Assists for Hope campaign. Every time the team records an assist, $20 goes to Primary Children's Hospital. That means every setup, every pass that leads to a goal, also leads to support for kids and families who need it the most. And in hockey, we know that the term hockey assists. So that's basically $40 per goal going to assist Primary Children's Hospital. That's awesome. On top of that, the Mammoth are hosting a fundraiser at Topgolf on September 26th. And if you have a lot of cash to burn, I don't, but if you do, fans can buy into VIP bays, meet players, get swag bags, and know that all benefits go to the SEG Foundation. This foundation has already supported nearly 60,000 families across the state of Utah, and now the Mammoth are helping to expand that reach. This is how you build a real connection with the community. It's not just about winning games, it's about making a difference in people's lives. That's how the Utah Jazz have done it in their multiple decades run here in Utah. They did it with Junior Jazz. They've done it with Make-A-Wish Foundation. They've done it with so many different Larry H. Miller foundations. And that's why people keep showing up to the games, is because they're more community-driven than just some billionaire's toy. And I think that's what Ryan Smith saw and grew up with the Jazz, and he's trying to continue that with the Utah Mammoth now as well. So that's your Utah Mammoth Daily. Mammoth Week taking the game statewide in a way that it has never done before. The Kaprizov contract drama shaking up the NHL. Local kids getting inspired at development camp, and community programs making sure every assist counts. The Mammoth aren't just here to play hockey. They're here to grow the game and to give back to Utah and make the state that much better. So Tusks up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for our next Utah Mammoth Daily update.